Welcome to Manga Historian's Complete Story Series. Today we'll be covering more of the Golden Age in Berserk with chapters 23 to 28. If you haven't heard, YouTube changed their system once again, and sadly Manga Historian is being hit pretty hard by this. So if you like this channel and you want us to continue, we need likes on this video. Go Berserk on that like button. We'd really appreciate the help. At the end of our last video, Guts and Casca were faced with Adon and his army. Guts told Casca to go on ahead without him, and he'd make sure that he gave her enough time to escape. But as she returned with help, they found Guts still alive and 100 bodies scattered around the field. After returning back to the camp, the soldiers celebrated, and while Casca spoke with Guts in private, there was one thing that stood out, and that's how he wanted to leave the Hawks when the war was finally over. After the reunion at the Hawks camp, the day has come for the Midland army to battle against the Chudan Empire for one of their strongholds, Doldrey Castle. With the Chudan in the middle of a civil war, now is the perfect time for them to strike and try to take that castle. However, this castle is one of their strongest holds, with General Boscone, the strongest of the Chudan army, leading the Purple Rhino Knights. Some of the Midland generals think that it's a bad idea. Their armies wouldn't be able to put a dent into the Purple Rhino Knights. One even mentions to Griffith that even with his invincible army, he wouldn't be able to do anything. And Griffith tells them, well, if it's an order from His Majesty, then I will take the castle. I won't need the strength of all of the armies. All I will need is the band of Hawks. Down on the camp as everyone relaxes before the battle, Guts sits in a tent with the other Hawks playing a game of dice. He looks up and he notices Casca there being rather quiet. And he asks, "What's wrong?" If Griffith calmly volunteered us to fight, it means that he knows that we're going to win. Casca tells him that he can be calm all the time. Now will especially be the time to. Remember when she told him how Griffith served under a noble? Guts remembers when she told him about the Baron that Griffith slept with for war money. Casca says that that's the Baron that holds the castle. He's the commander of the northern region of the Chudan army, and his name is Genin. Over at Doldrey Castle, Adon returns to the castle after his battle with Guts, telling them that he won't die so easily. He used his secret technique, the movement block, to pretend to be dead. That technique has been passed down through the Brokovich line for 700 years, and if he ever sees that guy again, Bosco stops him, telling him that he used his men to get personal revenge, and he got them all killed, including his brother. How dare he return home? Bosco then grabs a weapon from one of the guards and bashes it into Adon's face, telling him the next time he embarrasses him, he will demote him. After Adon runs away, Bosco returns to bring his report to the Baron to inform him that the armies will soon be attacking the castle. It is said that the invincible Hawks are the one leading the charge. The Baron then says that there is one thing that he must do regarding this battle. The Hawks' leader, take him alive. That is an order from the High Baron. Soon the time has come for the armies to ready themselves along the battlefield. Looking over at the castle, Judo tells Guts now that he's looking at it, he kinda wants to quit now. Guts tells him, come on, it's just a big castle. So long as we follow Griffith's plan, we'll be fine, even if the river is behind us. Across the way, Boscona looks out over the army wondering, what is it that Griffith is thinking? Having the river behind them will give him nowhere to run to. Whatever he's planning though, he still can't fight this many soldiers. But the Baron did seem interested in their leader. Whatever his stupid fetish is, his orders are to eliminate the enemy. Whether he stays alive depends on luck. Back with the Hawks, Guts says it's starting to get dusty out there, and Griffith says that that is part of the plan. And Guts smiles, pulling out his sword. As he looks back at the Hawks flag, Guts thinks that this will be the last time that he is under that flag, and then Griffith gives the order to move out. Even if this is his last battle, he will do his best as the Hawks' raid leader. The armies begin to charge in, with Griffith leading his side straight for the castle. As the armies begin to clash, Guts begins swinging, cutting off any body part within his reach. Boscone watches as Griffith and his army start pushing through the defenses, and the soldiers report that they have already had their front line destroyed. Soon Guts' horse steps in front of Boscone, and without a second thought, the two swing right at each other. Guts' helmet flies off, where Guts manages to scrape the horns off of Boscone's helmet. Soon the Purple Rhino soldiers charge in to protect their general, but as the army comes to his aid, they find themselves being courted by the Hawks. Boscone says, now I understand. It is true that this man could have killed more than 100 of Adon's men. Back up in the castle, Genin watches, wondering if Boscone will disobey his order and kill Griffith. To make sure that that won't happen, he'll go down there himself and command the battle. As the war goes on, soldiers on both sides begin to scatter, and Griffith gives the order for everyone to retreat back to the rear. The Hawks begin running back, and a Purple Rhino soldier asks if they should follow. Boscone tells him now. This battle has already shown that the Hawks are truly invincible. The soldiers then tell him that they should probably go after him, but then word comes down that the Baron is here. Genin says that the enemy is fleeing. Don't let this victory pass them up. So all of the units soldiers will move forward and do not kill Griffith. The one who can bring him back alive will be promoted 2 ranks and whatever else he wishes. Bosco tries to tell him not to, but Geddon says that he will command the battle himself. Order them to pursue. Over by the river, Griffith and the Hawks watch as the Chudan army gets closer and closer, and he tells everyone, right behind them is the river. Right now, they must sacrifice their lives. There is no other way to survive this. If you can do this, then we will be victorious. In front of the Doldrey castle, the soldiers position on the walls trying to see the battle, but due to the dust, they can't see anything. However, one soldier notices something on the ground, and it's Casca and her squad. Casca gives the order to attack, and the squad begins storming the castle. As the soldiers spread out to attack, Casca makes her way up the walls, but she's stopped by none other than the shark Adon. She looks at him and tells him that he's like a cockroach, he just won't go away. And he tells her that that's because he's the immortal Adon. Even a cockroach has to kneel to his life force. He then tells her that he knew of their stupid plan. That's why he stayed behind and waited for them. And Casca calls him a liar. No shame at all. Adon then gives the order for the soldiers to come out and tells Casca that this time he won't play around. He'll kill her even if he has to trade his knight's honor. Back out in the battlefield, Geddon asks what's going on. Why haven't they captured Griffith yet? And the soldier tells him that that's because a small group is in front of him protecting him. And that group is led by Guts. Bosco steps forward and the battle between him and Guts continues. The Purple Rhino Knights watch as with every swing, no one can see Guts' sword because he's swinging so fast. Over at the castle, Casca stands over Adon and he asks her, just how is it that last time you were so much weaker? And she tells him, at the time, her condition wasn't good. Women have that inconvenient time. And he shouts, you were PMSing? And Casca shouts at him, telling him not to shout that so loud. She then begins to attack, cutting the straps off of Adon's arm and knocking him back down. She moves in for the final attack, and Adon jumps up on his hands and knees, telling her, please, I apologize. And Casca just stares. He begs her not to kill him. Please forgive his past actions. If she would like the castle, go ahead and take it. She tries to figure out what to do. She can't even laugh at this. And then Adon pulls out a crossbow, telling her, I was merely pretending, and he fires. The bolt flies through the air, hitting Casca in the arm, and he tells her that this is the 1,000-year-old crossbow of Bokovich, the lightning crossbow, and it's been coated with a tranquilizer. She grips the bolt, telling him that she doesn't have time to mess with him. As the battle between Guts and Bosco continues, everyone watches as Bosco's last attack strikes so hard that it breaks Guts' sword. His sword is weakened from killing all of those soldiers from before, and then off in the distance, watching over the battle, sits Zod. Back over at the castle, Adon prepares himself to attack Casca, and he tells her that there is no point in struggling. If she drops her sword, he will let her live as his personal toy. Casca doesn't answer, and Adon then thrusts his spear at her. Though Casca manages to dodge most of it, the movement is just making the poison spread quicker. With one more swing from Adon, Casca dodges, putting her back against a wall. And then he asks one more time, what will it be? And while she says nothing, she charges forward, thrusting her sword into the ground. Before he realizes what's going on, Casca leaps over him and then swings. He begins to ask what happened, and as he does, the sides of his mouth begin to split open, and then Casca tells everyone to finish off the rest of them now. Move out! Out on the battlefield, Bosco starts charging, and his squad jumps in the way to shield him. He cuts through the group, and just as he reaches Guts, a sword is flung in front of him. Zod's sword. Guts grabs a hold of it, and he rushes forward with one powerful swing. Bosco's head flies through the air. As the soldiers all watch, one calls back to Geddon and tells him, the castle. And when he looks back, he sees Casca and her squad standing along the walls, and everyone waving the Hawks' flags. The Purple Rhino Knights try to understand what's happening, and Guts tell them, you are fools. Your general bought into our plan, and your fortress has fallen. Griffith raises his sword and tells everyone, we are victorious. Now start hunting down those enemy soldiers. Let them flee, but exterminate any who oppose us. Enemy soldiers all begin to retreat, and through the rushing, they knock Geddon down off his horse. As he picks himself back up, he sees Griffith before him. Griffith tells him, long time no see. And Geddon tells him, surely you would spare me, right? Our relationship. It's just, right now it's unfortunate circumstances, but we are enemies. But I've been searching for you, waiting for the day that we would meet again. I made sure to order my men not to kill you. You haven't forgotten that night, have you? The deep affection we had for each other? It was not just limited to one night. Griffith stares down and Geddon asks if he holds a grudge. Griffith tells him no. He, however, has no affection for him. In fact, he doesn't even hate him. He doesn't care about him. He just happened to be there when he needed him. He was just a pebble that happened to fall in his path, nothing more. Geddon calls him a bastard, but Griffith draws his sword and he stabs Geddon in the eye. And he tells him, it would be bad for you to spread stupid rumors. As Geddon's body falls, Griffith turns and leaves him with the rest of his soldiers, dead. Over in the castle, Guts goes to check on Casca from her wound, and he tells her good work. He helps her up, and they look out into the battlefield, and they see Griffith radiating over his victory. Casca says he's incredible, but it's weird. As she sees him raise the flag for victory, he somehow seems distant. unreachable. It hurts. And Guts tells her she's wrong and then picks her up. He tells her that there is no point in just looking at him from over there. Let's go see your general. As Guts leaves, he looks back to see the sword telling himself he can't believe it. And across the field, Zod says, "Soon you will fall. The descent of the devil is close." Now we are working hard to bring you guys Berserk as a weekly series because this concludes the current chapter, and we're about to get to the really dark and good stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you want this to become a weekly series. We're going to try to start it in about a week or two as a true weekly series along with Attack on Titan. Give this video a like to let us know that you want that, but I also need to know there's 3 other options for another weekly series that we're going to be bringing to you. Do you guys want to see the Dragon Ball Super manga? Do you want to see One Punch Man Season 2 manga? Or would you like to see One Piece? That one might be a little hard. I gotta catch up, but we can do it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Mangastorian.